7. The heart of God. God is limitless love and energy. However, God cannot manifest himself freely. His manifestation is limited depending on the degree of man's response and capacity. Jesus illustrated this fact in his work of healing. He usually asked those seeking to be healed if they had faith in him. Without their response, Jesus could not manifest the divine power. With the fall, man established a relationship of give and take with Satan, thus forming a base of 4 positions with him instead of with God. In this way, Satan obtained a foothold on earth and has since been establishing his kingdom, this satanic world. Thus, God's purpose of creation has never been realized. The whole cosmos is a complete reversal of God's plan. If man had not fallen but had become one with God by establishing the 4 positions with him, man would have been like a mirror to reflect God's perfect image and likeness. But in turning away from God, man shattered this mirror and could no longer reflect God's perfect image nor perceive his love. Looking at fallen man, God sees his wounded and broken creation, still bearing the divine spark, the seed of perfection, but unable to respond to him fully. Unreturned love brings neither joy nor power to the giver of the love, nor can it last long. God's love has never been fully returned, for he has had no perfect object to whom he could express his love wholly and manifest his power freely. One feels only frustration and sorrow when unable to express love fully or freely. Throughout the thousands of years of history, God has never received true glory and joy from man. Since man's fall, God has been seeking his lost family with all the love of his wounded and grieving heart. Since the time of Adam, he has been calling, "Where are you?" Gen 3:9b. Year after year the Heavenly Father has traveled thorny paths searching for his children. His eyes are full of tears and his feet are bruised and bleeding. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord has spoken. Sons have I reared and brought up, but they have rebelled against me. The ox knows its owner, and the ass its master's crib, but Israel does not know, my people does not understand. Isaiah 1 verses 2 and 3. The more I called them, the more they went from me. They kept sacrificing to the Baals, and burning incense to idols. Yet it was I who taught Ephraim to walk. I took them up in my arms, but they did not know that I healed them. I led them with cords of compassion, with the bands of love, and I became to them as one who eases the yoke on their jaws, and I bent down to them and fed them. Hosea 11 verses 2 to 4. Separated from God, the source of love, power, and joy, mankind has been suffering from hunger and thirst in spirit. In our hearts we have felt deep loneliness and a great longing for love, God's love. We have been like orphans, cut off from our true Father and Mother, God. As a heart longs for flowing streams, so longs my soul for thee, O God. My soul thirsts for God, for the living God. When shall I come and behold the face of God? My tears have been my food day and night. Psalms 42:1-3a. I am weary with my crying, my throat is parched. My eyes grow dim with waiting for my God. Psalm 69 verse 3. Man's separation from God brought spiritual death to men and has caused all the sorrow, misery, tragedy, and evil within men and in the world. Since the time of the fall, many religions have developed in human society. To seek God through Jesus and his teachings, or the teachings of any other religion, is man's attempt to restore the original image of God within himself. Such seeking demonstrates man's desire to establish a give and take of love with God. If man had not fallen, he would have been living in the bosom of God's love, conversing with him, walking with him, creating with him. Seeking after God through religions would have been unnecessary. The separation between God and man is reflected throughout the creation. The wholehearted give and take of love between people has been seriously impaired. For this reason, mankind has failed in all history to establish a real brotherhood among men and nations. Families continue to disintegrate in this satanic world. Never has God blessed men and women in perfect marriage. Never has a continual give and take of love centered upon God flowed between marriage partners. Although people may say nice things and pretend kindness, in truth their hearts are often selfish and unkind. Alienated from God, man has been unable to have full give and take with nature. Mankind has relentlessly abused and squandered his natural resources, and the forces of nature have encroached upon the dwellings and lives of man. Fallen man has not cared for and loved the creation as its true Lord, for he has lost the intrinsic feeling for beauty with which God endowed him. Consequently, even the creation has been suffering and waiting for the sons of God to reveal themselves as lords of all creation. The Apostle Paul was aware of this and said, "For the creation waits with eager longing for the revealing of the sons of God, for the creation was subjected to futility, not of its own will but by the will of him who subjected it in hope, because the creation itself will be set free from its bondage to decay and obtain the glorious liberty of the children of God." We know that the whole creation has been groaning in travail together until now, and not only the creation, but we ourselves, who have the first fruits of the Spirit, groan inwardly as we wait for adoption as sons, the redemption of our bodies. Romans 8 verses 19 to 23. God, man, and all creation have been suffering as a result of man's alienation from God. To end this universal suffering, man and all things must reunite with God and establish his kingdom of joy and love. Through his great struggle of centuries, the gate of heaven is open at last, and God is calling all men to enter.